Good morning, ma'am. Do you want to go ahead and get this meeting started for us?
Okay, let's call the meeting to order.
Morning, everybody. We're going to call the meeting to order. It's 10:30. Just so you all know, we're going to try to keep this meeting really tight. I'm a little bit worried about we will be likely going over the noon time frame that we usually have. That kind of, again, we're giving everybody about 15 minutes to present, and we have the safety action plan on top of the TASA planning project. So hope you got to look at the agenda. I'm going to keep it tight, time frame, and hopefully we can respect everybody's time. But for the roll call, I think we can use the Teams link here, what we have, and to get everybody's name and to keep track of the attendance. It does look like we have a quorum, so I'm going to go ahead and go on to item number 3. And this is the citizens input public comment. If anybody has any public comments to make at this time. Yeah, Javier, I didn't see if I could hear you early on. Sorry about that. But I did want to get a link over to you all. But we'll move on to the next item here. This is item number 4A. It's acknowledgement of the posted January 8th, 2025 meeting recording. This is just for reference. I don't ask for actual action, but the link is posted. If you're unfamiliar, our YouTube, we have an RGB MPO YouTube channel, and we post our policy board meetings there, but there's also a playlist of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee meetings. So with that, this is consideration and action to appoint new members to the RGV MPO BPAC. Per our bylaws, we do allow the appointment of members on a rolling basis as long as it is approved by the existing voting membership. So following the bylaws, I did want to communicate that we have 4 vacancies right now: 1 public agency, 1 economic development agency, a stakeholder agency, and the Bike Ped Citizen. And since our last meeting, actually before that, we had a January meeting, but I had forgotten to put on the agenda an item for appointment for Mr. Robert Ordaz. If you recall, I'm not sure if Robert is with us at the moment, but he was a member before as a citizen. I think he was on the City of Wesco's Parks Advisory Committee. But he also runs a regional Facebook group for trails, and he's an avid runner himself. So I see here that he had put bicycle or pedestrian oriented organization, but again, we don't have a vacancy there. So I kind of said, we'll present the application under stakeholder or potentially citizen at large. But again, this is an application from Robert Ordaz. He did provide a name for an alternate, which would be Charlie Casanova. Do we have any questions about this potential appointment?
I hear none.
Just a quick question, Emma. You said he's been in the committee before? This is Belinda.
Correct.
Okay, and his attendance was good? I mean, he participated?
Correct. Yes. Him and Nina were alternates. They were both representatives on the Wesco Parks Advisory Committee, but the participation was very good. He was a good attendee, and he's also participated in our Safe Streets for All Action Plan Steering Committee.
Thank you.
Eva, do we need to have a motion to appoint?
Yes, we do.
Is there a motion among the group?
This is Belinda. I'll go ahead and make a motion to appoint Mr. Robert Ordaz.
Thank
Do we
you.
have a second?
¿Dónde?
Como contacto, dejó tu nombre como contacto en los PIBs. En el aire.
Was that a second? Yeah. I don't know if it was Luis or Edwin. Oh, sorry, David, maybe.
Hernandez Borba. I second the motion.
Thank you,
All in
David.
favor?
Aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. The other application that we got was from Mr. Lazaro, well, we call him Larry Ayala. He's with us today, and he's a former participant as well of the BPAC membership. I know when we spoke, the city of Edinburgh, giving a chance to other communities to apply as public agencies, but seeing that there's still a vacancy, he just submitted his application in February and has named an alternate, Valentin Sanchez.
All right, same deal. We need a motion or is there discussion about him?
This is Belinda, Hidalgo County. I make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
This is Edwin Manrique with City of FAR. I'll second.
Thank you, Edwin.
Is there any discussion before we vote? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Thank you. We'll go ahead and update our voting membership to reflect the new public agency. One final question on Robert Ordaz. I realize I didn't get clarification. And maybe I can just ask you as the chair, Rose. Should we put him as a stakeholder organization since he does represent a cycling community or, a running group, or a bike ped citizen? Does it? I'll ask
I
him.
mean, the vote is equal either way, right?
Right.
It's just a category.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it matters.
Okay, I'll ask Robert and see what he's more comfortable with, but thank you for the appointment. We will consider him an active voting membership with everybody else. So that being said, our next item is an update to the SS4A Safety Action Plan. And I'm not seeing our consultant with us. Oh, there I am. Thank you.
Eva, can I share my screen?
Yes, of course. I'll go ahead and stop sharing. You can go ahead and share.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're gonna provide an update on the SS4A, the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan, an initiative or a project undertaken by RGV MPO with everyone's assistance. This is the second update to the project. And we are in the final stages. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, it looks good.
Okay. So on the schedule, where we are, as I mentioned, we are in the final stages, drafting up the action plan, and then we intend to take the final action plan to the policy board by the end of this month. At the last update, we provided the collision analysis as well as the high injury network. And based on the collision analysis, the emphasis area that were identified throughout the region um, is broadside collisions, unsafe speeds, automobile right of way, and hitting the object. We also looked into the emphasis area by county as well as city of Brownsville and city of Harlingen. They were the same, but the ranking might be different. But there was no change in the emphasis area all of throughout the region. As I mentioned, they were the same. So based on the collision analysis and the emphasis area that were identified, we have developed some policy and process recommendations. And I'm going to talk specifically about the one what this committee might be interested in. So the policy and process recommendation is a part of the comprehensive safety action plan. It includes multimodal street improvements, neighborhood traffic calming devices, or a program, as well as a complete street design. And what I want to mention is that once the comprehensive safety action plan is adopted, the policy and process recommendations are also going to be adopted, allowing the counties as well as the local jurisdiction or the cities to apply under this improvements implementation grants for enhancing safety within their jurisdiction. Some of the pedestrian and bicycle improvements for the counties that are being identified uh, is enhancing the crosswalks with enhanced safety features, ADA compliance, high visibility crosswalks, curb extensions, RRFBs, as well as hawk signals, and enhancing the safety lighting at the existing crosswalks. Along the high injury network, um, some of the improvements what we are recommending is road diets as well as filling out the gaps where we have it within the sidewalks or the shared use path. At the city levels or within the urban areas, the safety improvements at unsignalized intersection, same as the county, enhancing the crosswalks with enhanced safety features, safety lighting at signalized intersections, implementation of high visibility crosswalks with leading pedestrian intervals, and also curb ramp upgrades where the ADA standards are not met. And along the high injury network, installation of crosswalks, consideration of road diets, filling out the gaps within the sidewalk and the shared use path, as well as pedestrian signal installation. The next step is finalize the action plan and take it to the policy board for adoption, as well as we are going to be presenting the findings to the technical advisory committee on March 11th. With that said, I'm going to open it up for any questions, suggestions for the group.
I have a question. In your statistic gathering for accidents that may include a bicycle or a pedestrian, and I believe it's still true that if the person does not file a police report, it's not counted. Have you found a way to get around that?
No, Rose, we haven't been able to find a way around it.
Okay, and then my second question is in your the items that you're recommending, the enhanced crosswalks and such, does that also include refuges if pedestrian refuges if the road is large enough for one?
That's correct.
Okay.
Within the access management, where we would be putting a median to prohibit or discourage pit block crossings by the pedestrian, as well as for the automobile traffic to be making left turns and U-turns. We are suggesting that refuge areas on wider roadways should be provided for the pedestrians.
Okay.
Any other questions or suggestions that you think might work from the safety aspect that we should consider or identify as a safety measure to be implemented?
I had
I have
one
a
more question.
question.
Oh, you go, you
Oh.
go.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what, so you mentioned the ADA compliance. What are some of the things that you'll be recommending for ADA compliant policy?
So it's going to be on the curb ramps, Asmin, that
So we stay here.
the jurisdiction would have to evaluate compliance with ADA requirements. And wherever it is found that the curb ramps are not compliant with the ADA code, then they should consider implementing it. In addition to that, enhancing the curb ramps, the jurisdiction needs to look at implementation of truncated domes. So that way, the right of way is clearly identified for all modes of transportation or all users, I would say.
Would you consider or have you considered including accessible pedestrian signals? So curb ramps are great for folks with mobility disabilities. What about things like accessible pedestrian signals for blind, low vision, and deaf and hard of hearing folks?
Um, you mean the audible, right? The pedestrian signals?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Yeah. No, that's a good suggestion, Nazneen. We would definitely make sure that that one is included. That's a really good suggestion.
So my question was along the same lines. If I'm on my bike or walking and I push the button because I want to cross, and then the signal tells the crossing signal tells me, okay, it's time. I can see that, but the person in the car turning right at that corner, maybe they're turning right on red, they can't see that, or they don't, it's not visible enough to them. So a lot of times I get caught trying to go when the crossing tells me it's time to go, but I'm fighting with the driver that doesn't understand that I have the right of way at that moment. Do you follow what I'm saying? Is there a crossing signal light that not just tells me the vulnerable traveler, but also tells the car driver, hey, this is the time for the pedestrian bicycle to be able to cross the street?
So Rose, in order to address that, we are proposing implementation of leading pedestrian interval, which allows the pedestrian and bicyclist to enter the crosswalk approximately 4 seconds before any automobile traffic can enter the intersection. To give the pedestrian and bicyclist an upper hand and make themselves clearly visible to the traffic. But the concern or the issue, what you brought up, that right turns on red, uh, they might be not able to see the pedestrians when they have the right of way or when the pedestrians are trying to enter into the crosswalk. What
Correct.
the some of the countermeasures that are allowed within the highway safety manual or by FWA in the safety toolbox. I haven't seen the one which there is not a countermeasure that might allow or fund the implementation of those signal heads where the automobile traffic can see that the pedestrian right of way is active. But what we can do is enhancing the sight distance. And that's why I think one of the countermeasures what we are implementing is curb extensions. So when you do the curb extensions, it will bring the pedestrian and bicyclist in a clear sight with the automobile traffic that is trying to make a right turn.
I like curb extensions, but are they really going to be allowed on a large street?
It would have to be on a case by case basis. Wherever you have a heavy pedestrian and bicycle activity, curb extension might be a good countermeasure to implement.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Richard. One of the things, can you hear me?
Yes, Richard.
Okay. One of the things that, and I believe I mentioned this before in previous meetings, the city of McAllen has an app, and with the app, you can report any issues. Like, for example, there was a crossing in McAllen a few years ago that was at a very, very busy intersection. And it's on the bike path, and when you would press the button to let you cross the intersection, it would never change. The button wouldn't work. And so I created a service request, and the city of McAllen responded and fixed that. I've also seen situations where another location where I used to ride a lot is in Harlingen, and we had a button crossing on the interstate on the access road coming off the path in Harlingen and Arroyo Park, and that button would never work. You would never get the crossing. I mean, you could cross when there was a red light, but it would never switch, so the button wouldn't work. And I had no way to report that to the highway department. I filed a request online in the highway department and never heard back. I filed that request 4 or 5 times. And to me, it doesn't make sense to have these safety measures in place if they're not working properly. And I see that, fairly often. So we need a way to report that and get those resolved. Did that make sense?
No, I fully agree with you. It's a maintenance and operations issue. Eva, you wanna chime in?
I'm sorry, I kind of was posting something else. I wasn't listening that well to Richard. I know I heard it's a reporting issue for maintenance and operations, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's just that the city of McAllen has an app, and they still have it. It's called McAllen 311.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things you can report if there's a signal issue or a safety issue at intersections, and it can be for anything. And then their maintenance department gets it. And my suggestion is that I think this is a really good idea. But I've run into issues not only there, but in Brownsville, and in especially with TxDOT, no way to report it. And it could be something as simple as the button's not working, or the light's not working, or even a sign's down.
Right.
And somebody runs over a sign, and it just seems like
where to call. I got you.
Yeah, where to call and where to report and to get a follow-up. I mean, I know, for example, where I live, there's a highway sign that's been run over 5 or 6 years ago, and they still have replaced it. And that's not necessarily a safety issue for cyclists, but it's a safety issue for motorists.
Correct. Yeah, I've seen that. I know that here in Cameron County, I call my San Benito area office when it's on a state road instead of like the FAR district. But are we recommending that we put into the plan, sort of again bringing some awareness of how to report or call for those type of concerns? I think we could recommend to put that in the plan.
I mean, I just think that people should understand that's a need for people that are out there, especially if you're a pedestrian or a cyclist.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be like on a federal safety countermeasure, but I definitely think it's something that we can put in as a comprehensive safety action recommendation is kind of bringing awareness to the specific city calls. I know Brownsville had a helpline And there we go. The district office there, Augustine, is helping us with how to report safety issues. So, Nyan, I think we can definitely incorporate a section into the plan of, where to call, numbers to report these type of concerns here.
We have a
Okay.
similar app in Brownsville and 5454 or something. I forget the name of it, but you can report things like that.
Okay. I mean, that's good. It's just that, even it's great to have the app and everything in a number, but the awareness, in other words, how do you know about that? It's kind of
Right.
tough. And maybe a sign on frequent bike paths, or even a phone number with a sign, something like that. It just it's difficult, and there's so many variables out there, but the awareness is really good. All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Richard, for that suggestion.
Hi, this is John with City of McAllen. I just wanted to confirm if you had been able to add bus cuts or transit cuts into the recommendation, the safety, forgot what it is, like I guess the steps at the end, the qualifying projects.
John, can you repeat bus stops? Did you say bus stops?
The bus cuts, the ones where the bus can pull out of traffic and they can load and unload passengers instead of being in the middle of a road. I know that there was a list of qualifying projects that were safety related, and I think transit was missing. I know there was an intention to add them. I just wanted to see if they were added.
They are being added, John, based on the feedback what you provided at the steering committee.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Eva, back to you.
All right, thanks, Diane. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again. I kind of did try to capture some of what was being discussed as part of this. I know I'm gonna put here the bus curb cuts. But just to kind of keep on track, and I think we are going in a timely way. What we have up next on our agenda is the evaluation of the planning projects. We have 5 planning projects that will be presented today. And I just kind of wanted to give you all a highlight again. We have about 9 million in federal funds available. When you add the 20% match, it adds up to about 11.6 million. And we had received a total of 21 applications. For those of you who haven't kind of checked your emails in a second, I've kind of been sharing some stuff. I didn't want to overload your emails, so I haven't sent anything yet. But after today's meeting, I will be sending the invitations for the special meetings, which are going to be scheduled for March 17th and March 27th at 9 a.m. in person at the Ken Jones Boardroom in Weslaco. So that space has been reserved. And again, we are going to upload, on March 17th, we'll do an evaluation of 9 construction projects and then 7 on March 27th. So that way we can have more time for the scoring and for taking action, the discussion that may be needed to make a recommendation for action here. But the agendas have been posted on the website. And then again, we do want to go to TAC and policy to consider approval for these projects May 2020. I'm sorry. We want to include it in the May 2025 revision cycle, these projects that end up getting awarded. But to kind of give you an update too, I shared a little bit via email. The MPO staff did go to the policy board with the support of our chair, Commissioner Rose Gowan, and kind of addressed what we've seen. As you can see here in red, we've lost 4 of the tools, but we still have 1, and it was approved by the policy board that we go ahead and use that one evaluation method as our metric for the scoring criteria for equity. So just as a clarification there. When it comes to these planning projects, because this is 100% virtual today, an email was sent out to our voting members with scoring sheets for each project. Now you can see there's only 4 here, but you should have gotten all 5 if you weren't one of the applicants yourself. And then as kind of we stated, you're going to go ahead and fill out those scoring sheets. You're going to email them to us, hopefully by the end of today, so that we can have those scores ready. Just to kind of see what it looks like, this is what they look like. I want you to pay special attention. I highlighted up here the name of the project, should be at the very top. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. One time. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry. So please fill out your organization. Please fill out your name up here, whoever's filling it out, and of course the date that you're filling that out. You're going to go ahead and use this column here to add your points in. And again, equity is just 1 because of that change. But go ahead and put your points here, your total points. And then after you're done with your scoring, please initial and get these back to us. And then for the construction, you're going to see the same thing. Of course, there's more availability of points here. You're also going to get a summary with those other project readiness analysis and the safety analysis. So you can keep this. This will be provided in your folder at the construction meeting, and we'll go ahead and give more instructions at that time. But today we have Palmview Hike and Bike Trail. Who will be presenting this item? There you are.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Michael Leo, City Manager for the City of Palmview that will be presenting.
Great, thank you. Would you like to share your screen, or would you like for me to change the slide for you?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure, no problem. You just let me know when.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to present the Palmview Hike and Bike Trail Planning Project. My name is Michael Leo again. I'm the City Manager here. I've been here for about 6 years, and prior to that was with Hidalgo County as the Economic Development Director, and I was there for 9 years. I'm here to share how this project will enhance safety, connectivity, and resilience for the City of Palmview, and not just the city, but really the surrounding region. The goal of this project is to develop a detailed plan for a 1-mile recreational trail that will link an existing park that we have in Palmview to our neighbors, the Mission Regional Hike and Bike Trail that was undertaken by Precinct 3, Hidalgo County Precinct 3. This connection strengthens regional mobility, improves safety for pedestrians and cyclists, and serves historically to disadvantaged communities. Next slide, please. Here you'll see the map, and if we look at the far right, I guess, the magenta color looking highlights right there, those are county offices, county buildings, and right above that is where their trail starts, the Precinct 3 City of Mission Hike and Bike Trail, and it goes eastward to our city, to our neighbors, to the City of Mission. So that's where it starts right now. What we're proposing is to extend it to the west, to the left, in that kind of aqua color, as where the cursor is going, just like that, going through major corridors, La Homa Road, then going a little bit further to Benson, which is the next corridor, and then finally ending in that area. That last little section, if you look right underneath where the cursor is out right now, you see the baseball fields kind of highlighted. That's our municipal park, a very popular location. We have a lot of traffic there. Our baseball program is extremely popular. We've gone to the World Series the last 3 years consecutively. So we get a lot of traffic there, a lot of visibility, and not just from Palmview residents, but from residents and kids all over the valley. We have an all-star team called the Palmview All-Star Team, but in reality has kids from San Juan, from as far away as Brownsville to the west to Rio Grande City. So we would like to kind of extend it as an extension of our existing park, just walk a little bit right across to the drainage canal that create that walkway, that hike and bike trail, again, going eastward towards Mission to have that connectivity. So we're really excited about this because it worked out well, because our park happens to be on, right next to that ditch where the Precinct 3 hike and bike trail goes to the east. So next slide, please. Of course, safety, a paramount primary focus for the project. As you can see that the data shows within the half-mile radius of the proposed trail, there were 76 crashes in 2021, 69 in 2022, and 82 in 2023. And additionally, there was 2 non-motorized fatalities in recent years, highlighting the need for dedicated infrastructure to project pedestrians and cyclists. Next page, slide. This plan will assess and propose safety countermeasures such as dedicated bike lanes and pedestrian pathways to reduce conflicts with vehicular traffic, lighting improvements to enhance visibility and security, and traffic calming measures near crossings to slow vehicle speeds and prevent accidents. Next slide. For infrastructure elements, we want to support safety and accessibility. The project will also focus on key infrastructure elements, which includes ADA compliant design pathways to ensure usability for all residents, high visibility crosswalks and signage to alert motorists to pedestrian activity, and benches, shade structures, and hydration stations throughout to encourage active transportation and recreation. By integrating these elements, we feel this project will create a safer, more inclusive environment for residents who rely on walking or biking for transportation and recreation. Next slide. Beyond safety, this project promotes resilience by supporting sustainable transportation options and reducing dependence on motor vehicles. The planning phase will incorporate permeable pavement and native landscaping to enhance stormwater management and to reduce flood risk, tree canopy expansion for shade and heat mitigation, improving the comfort and longevity of the trail, and low impact development strategies to minimize environmental disruption. These features will create a long-lasting, environmentally friendly transportation corridor that meets both current and future community needs. Next slide. As to equity, again, this, according to the chart, the area has been considered, it is considered a disadvantage because it meets more than one burden threshold and the associated socioeconomic threshold. So it is a qualifying tract. Next slide. Connectivity, again, this project aligns with the regional MPO's active transportation plan, which prioritizes improved bike and pedestrian connections between communities. By linking Palmview to the Mission Regional Hike and Bike Trail, this project supports the broader vision of a well-connected, accessible regional network. I would add that not only does it would connect us to Mission, but it does so through an area of Hidalgo County, which is an unincorporated area. So when we would connect on the Precinct 3 area, that's again Hidalgo County, and then you get to the next block, so to speak, and that's where we connect to Mission. So we're actually connecting 3 entities with City of Mission, City of Palmview through Hidalgo County as our connection corridor. Additionally, these local plans emphasize the importance of active transportation, and this project directly contributes to those goals. Next slide. The proposed trail will connect to existing pedestrian and bike facilities while supporting complete streets principles, enhancing accessibility for users of all ages and abilities. It will integrate with nearby transit routes, offering multi-modal transportation options that benefit residents with limited vehicle access. This enhances mobility and increases the effectiveness of public transit investments in the region. Next slide. This project ensures direct access to essential community resources. Within half a mile of the proposed trail, we have, Enrique Camarena Elementary School, Ibrahim Elementary School, right across from the Precinct 3 office that we highlighted earlier. All those offices are Precinct 3 Hidalgo County offices. Includes the Constable's Office, the Justice of the Peace, as well as the Precinct 3 administrative offices. DPS has an office right there in that building as well. And again, it all ends and connects to us here at Palmview, where our park is literally right behind where I'm at right now. So it connects to our existing park, to our parks and recreation facilities, our gym, our library, and making its way to our city administration offices where I'm at right now. So by improving connectivity to these locations, the trail will provide students, families, and employees with a safe transportation route, reducing reliance on vehicles for short trips. Next slide. The project strengthens regional transportation infrastructure by linking Palmview to the neighboring city of Mission through Hidalgo County Precinct 3 and their existing hike and bike trail network. While the initial planning covers 1 mile, it serves as a critical piece of a broader regional system, ensuring long-term connectivity for multiple jurisdictions and encouraging active transportation throughout the area. So in conclusion, the Palmview Hike and Bike Trail Planning Project is a forward-thinking initiative that provides safety, resilience, and connectivity for Palmview and the surrounding region by addressing urgent safety concerns, enhancing access to essential services, and expanding the regional active transportation network. This project will deliver long-term benefits to our residents, students, and commuters alike. We respectfully request your support and funding for this planning initiative, which will lay the groundwork for a safer, healthier, and more connected community. I do thank you for your time, and we welcome any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Michael. Are there any questions from the group? Looks like there's one in the chat. How does it connect to transit?
How does it connect to transit? Like existing transit?
It was in
That's
the chat, so
right.
I'm not sure. Okay.
Hi, this is Naz. That was my question. Yeah. Could you, I guess just for my own benefit, if you don't, it would be helpful for me to see on the map, maybe how it connects with transit if it does, existing transit.
Like public transit, I'm sorry, like bus stops or just transit traffic, like,
Yeah,
vehicles?
I guess public transit. Yeah.
Okay, public transit. We are actually in the process. We just had discussions with Tom Logan recently to see if we can incorporate some bus stops here in Palmview. Some of the locations that we're looking at is right here in front of City Hall. So if the trail were to end here where our park is, we would have a bus stop right here, for example. The other bus stops that we're looking at are west of us. They would go around the 495 corridor. And if we're able to look at the map, we might be showing, but it would basically run parallel to the way the proposed hike and bike is. So the hike and bike trail would be, running from east to west. 495, which is a major corridor for us here, also runs parallel east to west, and that's where the stops would be. The proposed stops that we're looking at in partnering with Valley Metro are along 495, and it's about maybe a quarter mile or less, really, from 495 to where the trail would be.
Any other questions? From Roberto, Roberto, you want to ask your question?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to verify if it's being installed within the Hidalgo County Drainage District right away, and if you foresee any sort of acquisition being implemented for this planning grant.
We've actually had discussions with Hidalgo County Drainage District. This is something that we've been talking about and looking at really since I got here for the last 6 years. So we've had conversations with Hidalgo County Drainage District to have the access to their to the walkways near the canal. So it would be an extension of what they did in Precinct 3, which is the same thing. The hike and bike trail is on the banks of the ditch of the drainage canal. The idea would be to continue this way. All we would need is an interlocal agreement with the Hidalgo County, with the drainage district, to be able to do so. And again, we've been having conversations with them. They are supportive of the project. They actually gave us a letter of support in the past we went after another grant or through another funding agency in the past for something similar like this with the support of the drainage district and Hidalgo County Precinct 3.
Perfect. And just one follow-up. At the street intersections or the crossings like La Homa, I think, and the other one is Benson, can't verify the streets. So if there you're looking at doing pedestrian lighted crosswalk sections, right?
Correct.
Awesome.
Those are we've given a lot of thought because La Homa, for example, does have a lot of traffic. It's a state highway. So in the planning process, that's something that we want to focus on. Additional lighting or what other options aside from crosswalks, maybe something like some of the other areas have done with, underground tunnels or crossovers, bridge crossovers, whatever's feasible and whatever's safe, of course.
Thank you.
Okay, one more question out there.
I'd just like to clarify, this is Eva. I'd just like to clarify that this is a planning project for engineering plans, right? To better, again, to get ready for construction, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we've had preliminary discussions, including for this application with our engineers. They've given us preliminary estimates, and we have the vision, the map that you saw. The planning grant would be for actual design with engineering design.
Perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying. That was all. One more question in the chat. I'll read that one. Yeah, it says, will the trail be in conflict with the maintenance of the ditch, mowing of the ditch?
Again, I believe the answer to that is no, it would not be a conflict. Again, because we've had discussions with the drainage district, they are aware. So if there's any special accommodations that we need to make in terms of the distance to the trail or making sure that their vehicles have accessibility to be able to maintain their ditch. And again, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're doing an extension of what they already did, starting at Precinct 3. So pretty much exactly what they did there. we're hoping to just, mimic over here in our area. As a matter of fact, we spoke with the engineers who designed the white hike and bike for Precinct 3 in the city of Missions, the ones that started over there. So we've already had discussions with them on, what is it that they want to see, in terms of the accessibility and maintenance for the drainage district.
I would say on that in Brownsville, our experience working with the right-of-way of the drainage district has been a good one, because it prevents people from encroaching on the right-of-way of the drainage canal, and also makes it easier for their trucks to get in, because there's not like a bunch of mud and, harder things to navigate to get into the ditch. Okay, Eva, do you want to go to the next project?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have Ridge Road Hike and Bike Transportation Alternatives Project. It's a planning project by the city of San Juan. Who will be presenting this project today? I can see you're unmute, city of San Juan, but I cannot hear you. Am I the only one not hearing anything?
No, I see the same.
No, I don't hear anything either, Ana. Eva.
Okay. City of San Juan, I don't know if it would be helpful for you. You can use the chat. I can come back to this project after the next presentation if you'd like to adjust your audio and kind of play with that. I see you're here. I can see that you're talking. We just don't unfortunately hear your audio.
You want to go on to the next project and then come back to them?
Yeah, if that's okay, San Juan, we'll go ahead and do that and see if we can get your audio tested after this next presentation. Okay, no problem. Let me exit here. And Edinburgh, we have the city of Edinburgh submitted a project to update their bicycle and pedestrian master plan. Who will be presenting this today? And you're also, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Alicia Carmona. I'm an engineer here with the city of Edinburgh, and I will be presenting this project today.
Is it easier for you to share your screen, or would you like for me to manage?
You could manage it.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. This project is to update the city of Edinburgh's 2017 bicycle and pedestrian master plan. The goal of this update is since the city has undergone a lot of new development in the past 6 years, 6 years, several years, we need a new plan to address the needs of the city, so that we can have more safe routes for bicycle and pedestrians throughout different important locations here within the city. Next slide, please. This map here just shows the city limits. We can move on to the next one. This map here shows some of the blue lines indicate which routes or trails were identified in the 2017 master plan. The segments shown in yellow indicate the trails that were completed after 2017, and the segments shown in the red or magenta color, those are segments that are currently under construction or in design. So we have about 6 trails that were completed after the plan was completed in 2017, and about 3 trails are currently in design or under construction at the moment. Here, this slide shows the amount of motorized crashes and non-motorized crashes. We have had, as of 2023, we've had about 3,000 motorist crashes, several fatalities, and non-motorized crashes have been at 32 with a couple of fatalities as well. The proposed safety countermeasures with this project is, like I mentioned, the city has been experiencing very rapid growth. We do realize that we do need to make improvements to our transportation system, our multimodal transportation network. Some of these will include lighting. We do know that some of our signage needs to be improved at the crosswalks, things like that. Other things include rapid flashing beacons. In addition to that, one of the city's goals is also to improve our bicycle and pedestrian trails that would connect us to other parts of not only within the city, but also to adjacent communities. Some of these updates that we're hoping to see in an updated master plan would be separating bicycle and pedestrians from motorized traffic, just to improve, provide safer routes for non-drivers, as well as providing on-road bicycle facilities for streets that currently do not have a shoulder or do not have just have roadside ditches. And these are a lot of the areas. We do have the university and some adjacent roads near there don't have safe routes for students and things like that. So that would be something we would like to incorporate into this master plan.
I'm sorry, Elisa, let me know if I'm
No,
okay.
You're going fine. An updated bicycle and pedestrian master plan will promote resilience and sustainability, such as alternative mobility options, walkable and bike-friendly streets, and shaded pathways for heat mitigation, as well as encouraging active transportation, reducing reliance of energy-intensive transportation modes, and promoting walkable neighborhoods as the city continues to grow. The city does fall within a historically disadvantaged tract, as shown on the screen. This project would be just to update the current master plan, which is a 2017, and it also would be implementing the RGV MPO's 2020 Active Transportation Plan and the 2045 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. The update will enhance and expand Edinburgh's existing system of pedestrian facilities to provide greater connectivity to key destinations throughout the city. It would also incorporate complete streets to enhance safety measures that support bicyclists and pedestrians. The update will continue to establish a network of on-street and off-street bicycle and pedestrian facilities that will connect users to different key destinations throughout the city, such as schools within ECISD, the South Texas Independent School District, IDEA Vanguard School Districts, UTRGV, including sport complexes like the Vacker Stadium, which will be where the football games will be occurring in the fall. Other important facilities also include the Hidalgo County facilities, such as the court, and it would also provide a way for residents to get to the city's park and recreation facilities. This project will support Edinburgh in strengthening multi-jurisdictional connections. It will support in optimizing current access routes to Valley Metro bus stops and the Valley Metro Edinburgh Transit Terminal, which provide bicyclists and pedestrians connections to other cities in the Rio Grande Valley, such as McAllen, Alamo, Harlingen, Brownsville, and others. It also supports existing bicycle lane connections along Jackson Road and North Cornwall Road that connect Edinburgh to McAllen and others. Are there any questions?
Feel free to use the chat or again, unmute yourself if you have any questions.
This is Naz. I have a question.
Yes.
So thank you so much for this presentation, and it was interesting to get a little bit of like about the last plan and what has been implemented from that plan. I have a question about how will the methodology of this new plan to update the bike ped strategic plan be similar to, and how will it be different from the methodology used for the 2017 plan?
Could you repeat the last portion of it?
Sure, no problem. And here I can just put it for easier following. But yeah, so just basically what in terms of the methodology, how does this proposed plan compare with the methodology of the 2017 bike ped master plan?
We would be continuing as far as creating new projects or trails to build in a similar manner that we used the 2017 plan. I guess the only difference would be the new plan would be incorporating areas that were not developed at the time, that are not developed. So for example, a lot of the growth or a lot of the trails that have been completed since 2017 are within the center of the city. However, a lot of the growth has also been occurring on the east side of 281. So the plan might show that because of all that development we've had on the north side of the city and on the east side, that we might need to focus on those areas and prioritize those. Whereas the 2017 plan does not show as higher of a need in those areas because they were not developed at the time.
And if I may, this is Mardoqueo Hinojosa, city engineer. A lot of these areas that were done at the one point within the last couple of years, we had 65 subdivisions in construction, and then that number became very stable for a long time, where we had a lot of construction going on. It's gone down a little bit, but we're still building a lot of subdivisions, and we're trying to identify all the trends that will make sense for the city to continue growing and to show that connectivity for pedestrians and bicycles.
So my question is, in listening to your presentation, obviously safety is a blaring light with all the fatalities and crashes that you've had. I'm thinking that you are going to focus on off-street facilities or routes as opposed to on-street, because if you're having that many wrecks and fatalities, paint on the street is not going to be very protective. So I'm wondering, how will you prioritize that? And also, as you implement the plan, will you have a measure in place to follow whether what you planned actually improved rather safety?
No, and that's a very good comment. I mean, we have to prioritize safety, And if you pay a little bit close attention on what we're currently doing, a lot of these projects have been off the road. And what helps quite a bit is the areas that we already have the right of way and we're able to stay off the road. So yes, of course, wherever we are able to do it, we will aim at doing off-road trails.
I'd like to add, I know there was a previous question about the new methodology versus 2017. Something that if you guys do get the funds, we saw Transit did a study here at the City of McAllen in 2019. And then we did an update in 2023 because COVID did accelerate a lot of like changing travel, especially with delivery and people working from home and the emphasis on not necessarily wanting to go anywhere as much. We saw a loss in ridership and we had to address that. So I can see there being a significant change, especially on top of, I know you guys mentioned the subdivision. So I'm looking forward to what you guys might be able to put together if you get the funds.
I also see there's one more question in the chat for Edinburgh. It says, how do you plan on integrating community input throughout the proposed planning process? Community advisory board, perhaps?
We do have plenty of them, Ava. We do have a Parks and Rec board, and we do have a 2040 committee that we plan to include as part of the process. The intent is similar to what happened in 2017, and like all of these master plans, you do want public input so that we can focus on what the people actually want versus what we as staff want as well.
Great, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Mardoqueo. I don't hear any other questions for the group. And just to kind of, I didn't remind you on the last project, but just a reminder, you have those sheets, the voting members have those sheets, and can be, again, scoring now, or again, to send those scoring sheets to us later time. Any more questions for Edinburgh or Alicia? Okay. San Juan, do you want to give us an audio check? I know we still have some other presentations. I just want to, give you a chance to go first if we think that we can hear you now.
Can you hear us?
Yes, that sounds good. Great.
Hi. Morning. Morning.
Good morning. Let me go back to your slides. That's Palm View. Just kidding. I'm going too fast. Here we are. Okay. I'm be sharing the screen and you let me know when to change the slides.
Yes, ma'am. I'll let you know as we go. So first of all, I'd like to apologize for getting on late. And good morning. We just got notified very shortly ago, so we've been trying to get the audio and getting online with you guys. I really apologize on behalf of the city of San Juan. We didn't drop the ball. It was just a late email that was sent to us, and putting everything together. But we're here now. So my name is Israel Garza. I'm the Director of Public Works Sanitation. So I'll be doing the presenting. So good morning. And I am here presenting the Ridge Road Planning Transportation Alternatives to Improve project, which aim to enhance the pedestrian and bicycle accessibility and safety infrastructure. Safety is a major concern in this area. In 2022, we had 62 accidents, and in 2023, that number increased to 65. To address this project in cooperating multiple countermeasurements, including high visibility crosswalks to increase pedestrian safety, ADA compliance, ramps to improve accessibility for all users, trail signage to reduce pedestrian and cyclist conflicts, and comprehensive traffic control plans to manage traffic flow and minimize risk during construction. This measure is significantly reduced the likelihood of accidents and enhance overall safety of this corridor. Slide 2, please. Proposed infrastructure elements. This project will replace deteriorating infrastructure and upgrade sidewalks with 1,472 linear feet of 8-foot wide concrete sidewalks and 2,437 linear feet at 13-foot wide concrete sidewalks. We also consider lighting improvement, the planning of phase of further enhancement safeties. These upgrades will be reduced pedestrians, insurance to road traffic, and create designated safety spaces, encourage walk and biking and safer alternatives to vehicle travel, and provide better visibilities and accessibilities for road users. Slide 3, please. This project isn't about this project isn't just about safety. It also supports long-term stability, and the key relations of stability elements including durable materials to reduce maintenance costs, encourage the activity of transportation which lowers vehicles emission, and potential storm water management features mitigate flooding risk. By prioritizing pedestrians and cyclist infrastructure, we reducing the community reliance of vehicle travel and fostering a more sustainable transportation network. Slide 4, please. This project directly aligns with the Hidalgo County Activity Transportation Plan improvement, walkability, and bike access. The strength connection between FAR San Juan McAllen while complacent the regional effort in creating safer and effective accessibility pedestrian and bicycle corridor. By investing in this infrastructure, we are ensuring that the residents have a safer, reliable, and sustainable transportation opinion. Slide 5. This project will also connect directly to the Hidalgo County Hike and Bike Trail, which links to cities of San Juan, FAR, and McAllen. In addition, integrate the existing shared use of trails and transit stops, aligning with the complete streets of principles and creating more exclusive transportation network. This project will provide a safe and accessible alternative for vehicle travels, reducing congestion and improving overall mobility of pedestrians and cyclists. Slide 6. One of the most significant benefits of the project is proximity to the key of the community designation is to locate with 0.5 miles of Mayfield Park, PSJ College and High School, Early College and High School, PSJ Collegiate School and Health Profession, Edith and Ethel Carmen Elementary, and Explorers Trails and Parks. Additionally, the City of San Juan Library is just 0.6 miles away. This project is directly supported safe routes to school ensuring that students, families, and entry communities can safely access educational, recreational, and civic resources. Slide 7, please. Finally, this project plays a crucial role in expanding regional connectivity. Its key segment is the Hidalgo County Hiking Bike Trail, providing safety and efficient non-motorized travel across multiple jurisdictions. By enhancing this infrastructure corridor, we will strengthen the regional collaboration, improve mobility, and fostering of more connectivity communities. In summary, the regional planning transportation alternatives improvement project is a high-impact, safety-focused, and connectivity-driven initiative that will reduce crashes and tailgated safety countermeasures, improve infrastructure to support pedestrians and bicycle mobility, enhance sustainability and reliance, connect to the community access, including school, parks, and transit networks, strengthen regional transportation by linking the Hidalgo County Hike and Bike Trail. With your support, we can move forward in creating a safer and more accessibility and more connected transportation network for our region. Thank you all for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions at this moment.
I just wanted to take you back to the map for those of you. I think I might have, skipped it pretty quickly, so I came back to here during the summary. But let me go back to the Q&A. Sorry, Rose.
No, Javier asked if it was a planning project. Yes, it is a planning project, Javier. Are there any other are there any questions?
Eva, was there any way to zoom into that map? Or I can try to access on the share drive as well.
Yeah, if you should have access to the map. Sorry, go ahead, Israel. Sorry.
Ma'am, I don't have, like I said, we just connected here, so we don't have any accessibility to zoom into this map at this point on ourselves, being that we're kind of late on this presentation, but if you want, I can share drive it with my secretary and share the key points that it will be running from Veterans all the way to Blue Ridge Road. Of course, we're going to be connecting on San Antonio Street. So I will highlight this if this areas and have my secretary send you all a link where y'all can see the actual biking trail. And we'll cross over through, we do cross over to 3 schools in that area. Once we get this thing going, there will be accessibility to 3 different schools, which would be 2 high schools and an elementary.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Your presentation was great, sir. Eva took care of zooming in and I have access. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. And once again, I want to apologize to all of you. I got notified when you all had already started. So I'm very sorry for that. Somebody dropped the ball, but let's continue working forward on this project. And I really appreciate working with all of you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions before we move to the next project?
I'd just like to clarify, Israel, this is construction plans, and I see Roberto's hand up, so I'm sorry, Roberto, for cutting you off, but this is to develop construction plans, correct?
That's correct, ma'am. That is correct.
Thank you. Roberto?
Yes, it was just to follow up on that question, Eva. Just wanted to confirm that right-of-way maps were going to be as part of this request so that we could ensure that the proposed trail will fit within the, at least the vicinity map, right? So that if there's space that is there, that way we could avoid the acquisition, any acquisition that could possibly delay the project.
Yes, sir. We will have the right-of-way maps and everything ready for everyone, so we can share with everyone and not delay this construction and all.
Great, thank you. With that, the next project we have on our agenda is the Russell Road Champion Street Hike and Bike Trail from Hidalgo County Precinct 4. I know Valinda is sharing her screen. Valinda, let us know when. Yeah,
I'm trying to, but I don't know what that is.
I was gonna say, I was like, it looks like a little different than the presentation you emailed me. But take your time, Valinda. Let me. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to find it. I don't know how to take that out. I apologize. What can you? No.
just for everyone's sake, I'm going to re-drop the link to today's presentation, just in case you want to follow along or you have any other questions. You can have that link. It's on our website already.
I can't find it. Eva, can you go ahead and share it? I'm sorry.
Of course. No, you're good. I know how technology, we can't live with it, can't live without it. So I'm happy to help.
Oh, sorry. Let me take me off screen here. Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, good afternoon almost. Thank you all for the presentations. They've been great. I myself am learning a lot just listening to everybody. I just wanted to, sorry, I want to apologize in advance. I had called Eva about the presentation and she says, yeah, you can add or change whatever you need to. So I added pictures. So don't mean to upstage anybody, but I just wanted to pretty it up a little bit. Our project here at Hidalgo County Precinct 4 is Russell Road, Shapian Street Hike and Bike Trail. Before I go into the slides, I want to just give you a really quick introduction of why the need for this project. So Commissioner Eli Torres is who I work under, and when she started in 2019, we inherited a precinct that had a park and a half. So we have worked really hard to build on that to provide our residents with a better quality of life and just, that opportunity that you find in the cities or other areas. So we went ahead and we are now at 5 parks. We're working on 2 others, and hopefully that should be where we need to be at. And all of her, she likes to call it quadrants within the precinct, will have something where somebody can go to and enjoy those that live in the unincorporated areas. So I share that because obviously we have a plan, right? We were working on that. Other priority she had was drainage. So we worked a lot on our drainage projects over the last going on 7 years now, trying to upgrade aging systems. And so a lot of it is working with our Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1. Really good relationship with them, and they continue to help us and support us. And so discussions have evolved about how do we utilize our drainage systems for some of the projects and connecting to our parks or to our streets. We've paved over 100 roads. I say that because, a lot of priorities have had to take place before we could start thinking of projects like this. We also have had to work on community involvement and participation, getting people out. So a lot of community activities. So going back to this project, we're now at a point where we really want to get our first hike and bike trail in Precinct 4. And so if you could go to the next slide. We have a project right now that is called our Russell Road project. It's a roadway project. This roadway project currently will be about 4 miles that we're looking at for this, improving this roadway. It's a growing area. That roadway itself already has plans as we're trying to get it shovel ready, has plans for a hike and bike or shared use path, I should say, sidewalks. And it connects to huge development that then connects to just larger communities. So our goal is, okay, let's take that project and see how we can continue to connect with that. That project is divided into 2 segments, and I'll explain a little bit about that later. But the important thing is that we are ready now to see how working with an existing project, a roadway project, we're trying to get shovel ready, incorporating extensions of it through hike and bike trails. So if you could go on to the next slide, it'll give a better picture. Could you go to the next slide? Okay, thank you. I don't know if everybody can see that map. So in the map, what you're looking at right now is if you see anything in green, like exactly there where Eva has, that's Tres Lagos, where Eva was at earlier. You have State Highway 107 down below there that runs east and west, connecting the University, Edinburgh, into Mission and those communities. You have Some other green lines up there that run up and down North Jackson Road in Edinburgh that connect to their hike and bike trail, as well as an existing hike and bike trail. What you also see then in blue, and if you could go to the blue lines, the Ware Road project runs north and south. That is currently a TxDOT MPO project that the precinct has and is working with to expand on that roadway. That will have a shared use path. What we're well, up a little bit north, I forgot to put it in blue, but up north at Monte Cristo Road, we have several projects that TxDOT projects that will also have shared use paths. So there's going to be more connectivity up there with opportunities for people to be safe and get out. So our connection is that middle blue line there. That is the Russell Road project. We are currently working to get that project shovel ready. We have engineers on board. It's a collaboration with City of McAllen. And so that project, then once we get that going at Monmac, the red area is what we're asking for planning funding for. Because that project stops at Monmac Road, we want in the red area, this is what we're seeking planning funds for, to see how do we pick up at the shared use path there and then continue on. The north and south portion of the red there you see is actually a drain ditch. So it's utilizing what we call the North Main Drain. So then that is not a road. It would actually jump onto from the street. It would go onto the drainage system. And then the small portion there would then come around an existing sidewalk that City of Edinburgh has, and it connect to their existing trail. This total line study that we're trying to do is 1.5 miles. Half of it, or maybe, yeah, about half of it might be the drain ditch. So a lot of it will be the drainage system itself. We do have a support letter. We've had conversations. Actually, the drainage district assisted us in some of this maps and for the application process. And so, okay, next slide. The area that was provided with some of the information, as you can see, some of the areas I shared earlier where the drainage ditch runs, there's a lot of the safety is in place there. But the study will obviously take us into a deeper look at whether what can we do to improve on those areas where there have been existing crashes. How do we improve the safety of the non-motorized users utilizing those paths. If you could go to the next slide. Some of the proposed countermeasures we're looking at is, powered lighting, solar powered lighting, obviously signage improvements, pavement markings as necessary, crosswalk visibility enhancements, might be a need for flashing beacons, emergency call boxes. Those are just obviously a few that we can name. A lot of what we want to do is obviously ensure that people are safe and utilizing these for the purposes of walking dogs or walking with, they're taking their children on a ride. This area too is utilized a lot by different school districts that are in the area. You have the university in the area, and so it's going to be very important as the whole entire area develops that we find the safest way for people to get to these areas. If you could go to the next slide. Some of the other things we're proposing is separating our bikealists and pedestrians. Obviously, again, more traffic calming ways of finding the best safety measures possible for the walkers or the cyclists. I wanted to mention, I think somebody mentioned earlier, there is an opportunity for people to pick up on buses as well, so they can utilize this to pick up either. Right now, I know that at Texas A&M University in the McAllen area, there's a bus 4, I think, Route 4, the city bus that picks up there, and then you have the UT RGV bus as well. So there's opportunities where utilizing these pathways can also allow you to pick up on transit. If you could go to the next slide. As we continue to look at our project, we will be looking at whether we can, bioswales and rain gardens are available. Obviously, with the drainage system, there's a lot that we could possibly look at doing. We're looking at 10-foot concrete sidewalks, and that would align with the current project we have on the roadway of Russell Road. Native vegetation and utilizing that where that's necessary. Obviously, the use of durable equipment and other things that would support stormwater activities and other features that would allow us to maintain this pathway. Next slide. Equity, obviously, I think all of our projects in the region obviously will fall under the historically disadvantaged tract in most cases. This particular area is 55% low to moderate income levels. Again, Precinct 4 does not have a hike and bike trail within its unincorporated area. So it's truly our goal to try to find a way to connect people to these opportunities, to have this as well as something that they can rely on for their own quality of life. Next slide. Connectivity. So this might give you a better picture of what we're looking at. Is if you see the first picture where it says City of McAllen, that is Tres Lagos. If any of you are familiar with that, you know that that's a huge master planned development. It's got retail stores. It's got just tons of homes. The Texas A&M University McAllen Center is in the back area there. This area alone has several school districts, IDEA schools, ECISD schools. The land there in front of you is bare now, but no, keep the slide there, please. The land there is bare, but that area, our intention is to connect right at that intersection there and pick up on our Russell Road project. So if you can imagine, our project with the shared use path will allow people to traverse into the Tres Lagos for activities that take place there. There's a lake, there's a community center, just a lot of things. But that land area will be filled up later with HEBs, retail stores, hospitals. That will not be the way that looks right now currently in this picture very soon. And that is already, that development has started. On the next picture, we feel that this project, as you can see, we're not connected. That is, the Precinct 4 is not connected to a hike and bike trail of any kind or a shared use path of any kind. And we want our residents to be able to feel the need to do that. In fact, we were out on a taking pictures kind of mission sometime last year, and we ran into a cyclist. The gentleman was actually from San Juan, but he cycles everywhere. And was really happy to see that we were out there, stopped us because he saw what we were doing, taking pictures, and wanted to know what we were doing. And so we had a good conversation with him about cycling and how he, loves to come out to the Tres Lagos area. So just wanted to share how the connections would be so great because, again, you don't see it there, but we have some TxDOT projects, MPO projects we're working on at Monte Cristo Ware Road, our Russell Road project. So just being able to connect with that little piece that we're trying to connect with would be good. And that's part of what we're trying to do with this study is what is the feasibility of doing that and how can we make it happen the safest way possible. The next picture is the city of Edinburgh's current hike and bike trail there at Chapin and Jackson. It's utilized a lot. If you're out there, you will see people traversing on it. They've done a really great job of beautifying it and doing a lot of things to make it very friendly for the people out there. So we would hope to connect there. Next slide. So about connectivity, again, the portion that we would be connecting would help us connect to the west side of McAllen and utilizing it. Again, I mentioned there is bus services as well, so you could leave your bike and take a bus from the area over there. If not, you would come all the way down. You could still connect. The university is just east of these green lines that are there and the existing. So there's connection all the way through these two municipalities. And then obviously that leads to further connections that Edinburgh, picking up on the Edinburgh connections. Next slide. Just again, UTRGV, Texas A&M University Center. There's 6 schools, and that's between Tres Lagos and Edinburgh, and there's 3 parks, all in that whole area that we are looking at, aside from the hike and bike trails that exist already through Edinburgh or the city of McAllen. Next slide. Again, this is just the same map kind of I showed earlier, but just a bigger picture to share with you. To help you see, you know, how connecting would allow us to do that. And again, if you visually just picturing blue up at the top at Monte Cristo. And the next slide. Other things we consider in our study is adding pet-friendly features, hydration stations, fitness stations, rest area with benches, shading, and obviously, everything we do always at Precinct 4 is to include inclusivity. We've done it in our parks, and we would do it as well through this. So just wanted to thank you all, and if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Question from Roberto, what is the dollar request?
It's 433,000 is what we're requesting in our I guess in our request, and we would be providing 108,000 as a match. We would be engaging with an engineering firm. We don't have an engineering department per se, but some of it as well, what we do utilize, we do leverage off of whatever the drainage district can help us with and their engineers.
Okay, any other questions?
Can I get that?
We are at the 12 o'clock, but we have one more presentation, so please stay on. I don't hear any other questions. Thank you, Belinda, for your presentation. We'll move on to the city of Harlingen. Who will be presenting? Would you like to share the screen? Hey.
Yes, I'll be sharing my screen. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, great.
Okay, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. My name is Roberto Fernandez. I am the Assistant City Engineer for the City of Harlingen. And today I'll be presenting on the Harlingen North-South Corridor Link. We are requesting $344,000, and this is to fund the design of an active transportation network comprised of high-priority corridors and protected bike lanes totaling about 5.5 miles. So this shows the overall project vicinity map. Part of the request is to be able to determine the right-of-way map surveys for the entire area. That way we could make sure the a 10-foot wide trail is visible along Dixieland Road, Lincoln Road, the trail, the irrigation trails, and being able to connect all the parks within the area. These trails will connect disparate areas of Harlingen. At the moment, here you could see the highway that separates east and west side of Harlingen. It'll be able to connect the west with the east. Also be able to connect to the local businesses. We have the mall, we have the downtown region. We did do a preliminary right-of-way map verification, and we noticed that the visibility is there. We're not anticipating any sort of right-of-way acquisitions or easement dedications needed. But as part of this request, the PSNE will be done, and that will be signed and sealed by a land surveyor. For the safety benefits of non-motorized crash counts, in 2021, within the project vicinity, there was 831 motorized crash that's highlighted by the green dots. In 2022, we had 610 with 2 fatalities, 9 being non-motorized. And in 2023, 610 with 6 non-motorized and 616 crashes. And although it doesn't show it right now, for the year 2024, we did have one fatality that we know of that is within the project vicinity, and that occurred near a school near the Lincoln and Dixieland intersection. So it just shows that there's a need for improvement in the safety component here. For the proposed safety countermeasures for this project, we're planning on adding lighting, signage improvements, crosswalk visibility enhancements, medians or refuge islands, and up to ADA compliant for pedestrian ramps, bringing all that up to standards. For the lighting, there are some street lights throughout the project, but what we want to make sure is that also as the neutral is being added, that it is properly lighted during the night to ensure that the pedestrians are seen and there's no risk for them. For proposed infrastructure elements, we're proposing to separate the bicycle and pedestrians from the motorized traffic, having that way they're not sharing the road, they'll be behind the curb. Bicycle and pedestrian crossings needed at the street intersections or street crossings, and for the most part, replacement and rehabilitation of aging infrastructure. So in this image, you could see that this is near school. We have the sidewalk. It's been there for over 20 years, and you could see at the ramp here how there's no, I wouldn't say it's as to the current standards of ADA compliance. There's no the buttons to notify people with visual disabilities that they're going to cross the road. Also, in some areas, it might be too steep over the 2%, 5% allowable by the ramp. So we would want to identify all of those and bring them up to compliance. This shows more of that aging infrastructure we're aiming to replace. This is at the street intersection of Lincoln and Dixieland, making sure that these sort of striping gets improved to the high visibility that TxDOT now recommends. Also replacing those ADA ramps with new compliance, and for the ones that don't have the audible PET buttons, to ensure that we install those so that there could be visual components and also the hearing. Also, for areas that don't have the sidewalk, I just want to show that this does show that we have the space for the sidewalk, making sure that as we cross the street, that continuation occurs. For equity, this project does fall for the entire part within a historically disadvantaged track, 100%. So this kind of shows City of Harlingen, and for the most part, the project vicinity is in this area. So connectivity implements of local, regional active transportation. The proposed planning project is highlighted in the Harlingen Trails Master Plan, and this planning request actually combines 4 of those, one being the Valley Vista Mall corridor, the Victor Park corridor, Dixieland Road, and Longset Hill. So essentially, we found this being a great opportunity to combine 5.5 miles that could be planned and be able to have those plans shovel ready for possibly another grant or the next fiscal cycle for this request. For connectivity, the planning project is a high priority proposed corridor showcased in yellow. So here is the Dixieland. This is the Vestal Park within the irrigation district, and the Lonsey Hill Park. Connects to bipeds transit facilities or incorporates complete streets. The project proposes to connect various transportation systems, intersects and or expands on existing bicycle lanes, sharrows, trays. It also expands sidewalks, ramps, and bridges. The project will be within half a mile of a transit stop. Active transportation sidewalk map. This is from the MPO, just showing what we have at the moment. Here is the Dixieland Park, Dixieland Road, Lincoln, and the Long Sea Park. I guess for the north-south limits would be the Long Sea Hill Park, and the south being the Dixieland Road. Also, an important thing to show, we are proposing to connect to the Arroyo Colorado Trail. We do have a nice trail system along the Arroyo Colorado, and as we're actually expanding it within this upcoming months and years. So all this will be nice interconnected. Here, kind of, you could see the signs where the bus stops are. So for the most part, it is within the vicinity of those. So not only people that live here will access it, but also those that use the transit. The connectivity to public buildings, school parks. So within the vicinity, we do have 1 public building, 5 schools, and 5 parks. This shows the vicinity of them. Parks being the ones with the green dot. This is Dixieland, Bitter, Long Sea Hill, and Vestal Park. We have the police station in this area. Schools, we have the 5. So this also improves the safety for the kids that use that walk to school overall. We do have the Tony Butler Golf Course and Section 8 housing near the Buchanan Street intersection. Here, it would be accessible for them to use the irrigation corridor, since the street connects to this area. The multi-jurisdictional connections. So this is from the Cara Cara Trails. I just wanted to show how it ultimately connects to the master plan. This right here being the Arroyo Trail, the Arroyo Colorado Trail. In the near future, La Feria will be expanding their connection through the Arroyo Colorado, basically what we have at the moment in Harlingen, for them to do it west, and then going east as the city is improving the Arroyo Colorado trail systems, they'll be connecting downwards. North-south connection, you could see this trail that's highlighted from them. It is connecting to this. People will be able to access it relatively easy. So this is what I have, guys. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so Ava could share the questions that may be asked for the project.
You're muted, Eva.
That's so silly of me. Thanks. So thank you, Roberto, for your presentation. If you have any questions, I know it's after 12, but please don't be shy. The City of Harlingen is here to answer any questions you got.
This is Naz. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, the figures are really helpful. Thank you for those. My question is, how will you identify? So you gave some examples of areas of infrastructure that need updating. What is the process that you're planning to use to identify those?
So for this is planning, right? So we're gonna be able to get a consultant on board. There'll be one of the submittals is the survey, so they'll be able to determine what's there. Also, for example, showing what sidewalks might be cracked or that they don't have that slope requirement that it's currently with ADA compliance. So that would be one of the deliverables. And I myself already walked most of the area, and we'll make sure that those parts that are non-compliant are shown on the plans that will be bidded out for construction.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions for Roberto, City of Harlingen?
Yeah, this is Richard, since I live in Harlingen. How much, it looks like some of the trails you're planning are along the Arroyo, or they're off street. Is that true?
So we're connecting to the Arroyo Colorado trails. For the most part on Dixieland, running north-south, that's about 0.9 miles. along Lincoln Avenue, that's 1.2 miles, and everything else would be along the irrigation channels. So we've been communicating with them. They don't have any opposition for us. They actually like it for us to be able to pave a trail through them. I mean, we'll be doing the maintenance on it, making sure that it's nice and clean. But to answer your main question, yes, it will connect to the Arroyo Colorado trails, but we're not doing any improvements along the trail itself, the Arroyo Colorado.
Okay, but the new ones will be on the irrigation that you're looking at, along the irrigation?
Correct. That's one of the project areas.
Okay,
So
sure.
there you could see Ava's screen, the section
Yeah.
that runs north to south, that's within the irrigation district. And the curvature near the Vestal Park, that's also part of the irrigation system.
Okay, very
And
good.
then,
Thank you.
yes, sir. And then on
So
the
will it be a
southeast corner,
mix?
that's the
Sorry.
connection to the Arroyo Trail.
Okay, this connection over here.
Yes.
So it's a mix, right, of on-street and off-street is what I get? Okay.
Yes, and for the one that it's on street, we're aiming to not have it within the pavement, within the road. We're planning to have it all behind the curb so that they're separated for safety concerns.
Great, thank you.
And if I may, this is Luis Vargas here with the City of Harlingen. We won't be touching the existing off-road trails of the Arroyo, but rather connecting to them.
Great.
Roberto, this is Belinda with Hidalgo. I just want to share that that's a really good, was a good presentation and a good plan. So I just want to share that.
Thank you, Ms. Reyes.
Great. I don't hear any other questions. I don't see anything in the chat. So thank you very much, City of Harlingen. Thank you, everybody, for still being with us. I know Commissioner Gowan had to jump, but Marisa is her alternate, and she's still with us, and we'll be submitting the scoring sheets today from my communication with her. Do we have any project updates from the group as our next item here?
But I did have something that I wanted to share real quickly.
Thanks. Go ahead.
Right, let's see here. Can you all see that okay?
Looks good.
Yes.
Okay, just real quickly, if you all indulge me, I know I'm the last thing between you and lunch, but I just wanted to give a quick update to the Benavides Park asphalt pump track that begins construction next week on the 10th. This is way down in Brownsville. It's almost like in southmost area, but very excited. My organization acted as an advisor on this project. It is part of the Cameron County Parks and Recreation in partnership with Alliance Action Sports Experts. And I wanted to showcase this as you all start thinking about future projects, or if your community wants to start a project of this type, more than happy to come in as a consultant and advise. You know, we're free. We're a nonprofit, so we don't charge, but more than happy to share the knowledge around it. But I just wanted to kind of update you all on this project. So first of all, you're probably saying, what is a pump track? Well, essentially they're hubs in the community that it's a track that multiple types of wheeled types of items can be on, whether it's a bike, a skateboard, rollerblade, scooter, you name it, they'll ride it. And what we find is that it really draws in different types of kids and adults from the community to get out into the outdoors and enjoy this type of amenity, which can be situated in one of your parks. The track that we're currently building in Benavides Park is approximately just over 4,600 square feet. That's 492 linear feet of asphalt track. The width of the track is about 6.7 feet wide. I'm sorry, 7 feet wide, and it does have a standing platform that's on it. It consists of 4 jumps, double rollers, and has 3 tiers of progression for different levels of riders, you know, from your beginner, from your kid that's on a Strider balance bike to, you know, an adult that has had some experience riding a pump track and is on a BMX bike with, you know, 20-inch wheels or something like that. It will have lighting and there will be a covered picnic area. So this is definitely going to be a draw for families to come out. Kids ride the track. They sit out and enjoy the outdoors in this beautiful park in Deep South Texas. Construction, like I mentioned, begins on the 10th next week. This is what the preliminary design looks like. You can kind of see it's going to be built kind of behind the buildings there, if you're familiar with that area of where
David, just if
Benavides
we're
Park is.
just seeing the title slide, or at least I'm just seeing the title slide. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me jump out.
There you go. No, it looks good. Now we can see it.
Now
Okay.
you see it
Sorry.
now? Okay, let me show you this one. This is where the track is going to be situated. Again, you see Brownie Road there on the right in that main picture, and you kind of see the cutout of the footprint of the track. You can kind of see where they've already been getting the ground prepared, you know, scraping the dirt. If you're familiar with pump track construction, it's layer upon layer of different materials, different types of dirts, gravel, you name it, that is compacted, compressed, and it allows these things to last forever, essentially. You know, it would take, you know, an act of God to wipe it off the face of the earth. But you can kind of see the construction's already has begun. The actual crew from Alliance will be here next week. This particular track, this is the 3D rendering, if you will, of the design. This will be Alliance's first track in North America. So Brownsville will have that distinction. We're hoping they won't be the last. I'm hoping that some of the people that we have on today will be inspired and want to build one of these in their community. This is some other pictures of what the track is going to look like from different views. And this particular track is going to be very beginner friendly. So yeah, again, a kid on a balance bike can get out there and really enjoy being on this track. So that's what I wanted to update and get everybody excited about. And hopefully you all will do something like this in your communities down the road.
Hey, David, this is John with the City of McAllen. I want to say that looks awesome. I know me and Robert De Leon, I'm pretty sure you've heard of him, and we've talked about it. I am like Michael Jordan. I see this happening in other communities, and I take that personally. I'll commit my own thing already. No, congrats. It looks great. I'm sure we'll be reaching out, if not, soon, eventually, because we've talked about it and said, this looks great. How do we do this? I got spots in North McAllen I think would be great for it. But yeah, good job. I love it.
Awesome. Well, that's why I'm showing it, because I'm hoping more of you all will want to do this, and it'll just be more for the communities that are out there to enjoy. Again, not necessarily just cyclists, but skateboarders, I've seen scooters, you name it, rollerbladers. I mean, it's just, again, it's a hub in your community that gets people outdoors, gets them to enjoy amenities like this. So let us know how we can help.
Yeah, David, if you don't mind sharing those slides, I'd love to incorporate them and revise the link on the website. And yeah, I agree, Naz. We want more. It'd be great to get this kind of capitalized. We know Harlingen started it, supporting Vorba in that effort to develop their first pump track. And yeah, I'd like to encourage everyone, let's help push Vorba in membership, because of course, again, they're nonprofit, but they get a lot of support and for their efforts and their activities, if we can help build their membership with them. So if there's no other project updates or new unfinished business, please feel free to put it in the chat, unmute yourself. Otherwise, like David said, we know we're standing in the way between us and lunch. We're going to meet 2 more times this month. Do not hate me. We have a lot of projects to evaluate and review. We have more presentations coming. So please, again, the calendar invitations will go out after today's meeting. But please keep it in mind that this is, when we will be meeting again. And yeah, reach out if you need anything. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Wait, I got a question.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't leave without one more question. On the evaluation sheets, do we open those in Google Docs, and do we share those with you, or how does that work?
It should be a PDF, what I emailed you, and they're fillable forms, so you should be able to edit them. If you have any issues at all, Richard, give me a call. I'm going to put my work cell in the chat here. And again, hopefully they're fillable. Hopefully it's not too difficult, and then you just email them back to us.
Yeah, mine didn't come up as fillable, but I opened them in Google Docs.
Okay.
And I was able to edit them that way. I'll just make sure that you get them. Okay.
Thanks,
you.
Richard. Call me if anything. We'll definitely work with you. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
This is John. Motion to adjourn.
Thanks, John. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, David. All in favor, please say aye. Motion
Aye.
carries.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you all
Aye.
very much. Okay, call
Thank
me if you
you.
have any issues with your forms, guys, but thank you for submitting them. Thank you for joining us, and thanks to all the presenters. Bye-bye.
Thank you.